All right, our Storm Center coverage here on the Weather Network continues, and we had sort of like the warm-up storm. This was back on Friday into Saturday, Portugal Cove, St. Phillips there in Newfoundland, Labrador, thinking Colin Lane. We did have some gusty winds, we had some rough surf, no doubt about it, here in St. Shots as well. But this storm, and Nathan Coleman joining us now, so that was a combination of a low-pressure system and, of course, post-tropical cyclone Melissa moving to the south. This storm is not a hurricane, not a tropical cyclone at all, Nathan, but this one is going to be more powerful than that one. Now, I just want to quickly mention, Nathan's in Halifax. Halifax, you are not under any watches and warnings, but further east into Nova Scotia and PEI, you've got wind warnings, rainfall warnings, and special weather statements. And across Newfoundland, well, posted pretty much bow to stern, Nathan, is a variety of warnings. So what has you concerned about this storm in particular?
Well, it's really, the storm surge, when you look at the timing of the high tide coming in the evening hours. I always think back to Fiona when that happened. Now, that came in the overnight hours in Port aux Basques. And it's when you have a storm during the day, you can watch the waves and see how close they're getting to the shoreline. But this happening after dark, of course, we had the time change. It gets dark early. We've got a full moon, so those tides will be extremely high. And with those peak winds coming, it is a threat to the coastline. If your home is along the coastline, you want to monitor the accounts of your local officials closely. If you do get asked to leave, you do need to leave, because it's very important when you get this combination of factors.
Yeah, so high tide, between 6:30 and 7 p.m. this evening for the Avalon Peninsula. Those waves will be really high as well. Also during high tide this evening in portions of Cape Breton and PEI as well, there's going to be some high waves too, some strong winds. So we've got the wind. I think that's probably maybe one of the biggest concerns of this storm, and that means power outages. So Nathan, preparing for power outage, what are some key things that you have to have on that list?
Well, if you do have time now ahead of the storm, if you have a generator, you want to go check it, make sure it's still working. If you don't, you do need to make a plan to go somewhere that might have power, or ensure you do have, your batteries, a flashlight, all the items in emergency kit to sustain yourself for 72 hours without power, just in case it does go out for a prolonged period of time.
Well, right here, we're just showing you a bit of a timeline in St. John specifically. So this afternoon, the wind picks up, the rain intensifies. This evening is probably when the winds will be at their strongest, but even tomorrow, it's still going to be right there. So this is a weather bomb. We talk about this. So Nathan, I know the people on the East Coast very familiar with the vernacular, whether it comes to nor'easters, weather bombs. Time to batten down the hatches. What is your plan for today? I know you're not in the heart of this storm, Nathan, but what will be some of the things that you'll be occupying your work day today?
Well, I'll be monitoring the accounts of officials from here in Halifax. I'll be looking at, whether or not there are any cancellations and delays at the airport, and any messaging coming from the city of St. John's, and I'll try to keep that updated on my feed as we monitor this, from Halifax, and also in Cape Breton. There is potential, like you mentioned, for high winds, power outages there, so who knows, I may end up in Cape Breton, but you'll have to stay tuned for those updates.
The life of Nathan Coleman, my goodness. You just never know where you're going to be on any given day. High amounts of rain, and also watch for some snow too with this storm system, particularly in central and western Newfoundland.